So we're back with another battle report, and I'm going to have to start this one with a few apologies. First, I'm going to apologise to Jay because I took some photos of this game and then went to an RTT a few days later, and I cannot for the life of me remember how it went down. So I've not been able to put a TTS battle report together because I've got turn 2, 3, and 4 all muddled up, and when I look back at the pictures, things I've put where I thought they were aren't where they should be. So, unfortunately, there's no TTS battle report. So, I'm just going to have a quick chat about how the game went and the things I can remember. I'll put some pictures up in the background of. I'll put the pictures of the game up in the background that I've taken, which leads me on to my second apology, which is yes, I am playing with grey plastic minis. I'm a World Eater main, so World Eaters are currently my painted army that I take to GTs and whatnot. And Votann are just what I'm starting out trying. So some of them, the painted ones are painted by others that I've bought off eBay, and then the grey plastics are the ones I've not sprayed yet, and then the other ones are just primed. Some are missing heads, some are missing guns, some are missing all sorts of bits. So we are running we're running the Votann on the table. However, the models aren't finished or painted or based or anything like that. So that's another apology for anybody that cares about that. And then the third apology could be about the terrain. I know some people are very iffy about terrain. They want it to be thematic and all that. Obviously, we're playing on UKTC and it's Games Workshop 10th edition, so it's not thematic. It's just L's. These are bigger L's, but it is see-through acrylic terrain, and that's because before Codex Death Guard came out, I was playing a friend, and he had a squad of Nurglings behind a wall that I forgot existed, and then charged my berserkers in to something next to it, and then was affected by their -1 to hit aura, and that really annoyed me. So when I found out I could buy clear see-through terrain so that I wouldn't forget something is behind a wall, I jumped at the chance. So hopefully I can make it work for 11th edition when we see what terrain comes out there. But that's the terrain I currently use when playing IRL because I like to be able to see everything on the table, especially now that I've got an indirect unit. It's good to remember little things hiding behind the wall. So those are the apologies, Jay, not having painted minis and the terrain. As far as the game went, we managed a win against Jay and his Imperial Knights. I'll put the pictures up and then I'll talk through the lists. I think I'll give you a quick rundown of what we were running. So Jay was running the new Freeblade. So he was running a Lancer, a Knight Castellan, a Knight Crusader, and a Knight Destrier. The Destrier's got the Bringer of Justice enhancement, and the Crusader's got the Hunter's Eye enhancement. I think the Hunter's Eye is ignore cover, and the Bringer of Justice is improve the attack characteristics of melee weapons equipped by the bearer by 2, and each time the bearer makes a melee attack, add 1 to the hit roll. So not a bad enhancement. He's also got an Armiger Helverin, a Armiger Warglaive, and another Armiger Warglaive, all with the Melter Gun, Thermal Spear, Reaper Chain Cleaver. I don't know what their loadouts would be, if that's normal or not. I assume it is. Jay has some tournament experience. He unfortunately had to play Innis in his second ever game at his first ever GT. So he has some experience playing at tournaments. We went together to Manchester and Sheffield. So we look to be going to a few more in the future as well. And then he ends with a Navigator on his home objective. So that'll be Jay's list for the game. I was running Brandfast Oathband Votann, which is you get sustained 1 when stood out within 6 inches of transport. As we've gone from full melee World Eaters to full shooting Votann. So my list was 2 Arcanist Evaluators and a Carl inside a Sagittor. The Arcanist Evaluators get lone op if they're within 3 of an infantry unit that hasn't got lone op, so they can't give lone op to each other. However, the Carl stood behind a wall can give lone op to the 2 of them. So that I felt was quite a nice package to have. I've got the Brock here Ironmaster running the Trivarg Cyber Implant enhancement that gives him and his unit sustain 2 when they disembark from a transport or for 2 YP. So I figured that's quite tasty to have with the Brochet Thunderkin conversion beamers, sustained 2 and lethals on 4s outside of 12. I've got a Grimnir just stood on my home, 4-up invuln on the Grimnir and the 2 Corves, and they can spread out quite a bit of area, seeing as there's 3 models in the unit. And then Uthar the Destined for the -1 CP. He's riding the other Sagittor because Sagittors are dedicated transport, so they need to have a unit inside them at the start of the battle. 1 Capricus Carrier split in a squad of Jaegirs. Obviously, 1 squad infiltrating the squad inside the Jaegir. I've got 2 squads of 6 Thunderkin with conversion beamers, 1 squad in each land fort, 1 land fort in reserve, and then I've got a squad of 3 Thunderkin with the Graviton Blast cannons, which are the anti-monster vehicle ones. They're also walk off the board reserves. 2 squads of the Earth Shakers, 1 with the Tremor Shells, 1 with the Plasma, 1 with the Breacher Ordnance. So long range, more damage; short range, less damage. Long range, less damage; short range, more damage. Combo quite well with the Thunderkin as the Thunderkin strip cover, so they can then shoot without the enemy getting -1, getting a cover save, so the -1 AP works quite well. And they've got a Sagittar parked in between them, so they get sustained 1 as well. 2 land forts, as we already mentioned, and the squad of Pioneers just stood on the backfield and then going off the board to do actions if needs be, and then the squad of Jaegirs. So that's my list, that's Jay's list. Jay's was running Freeblade, which gives all of his knights 6-up feel no pain, and they heal 1 wound at the end of the command phase. So new detachment for him there. As far as the game went, it was very close for a very long time. It finished 85-72 to me, and not for the want of trying. The Thunderkin sustained lethal on 4s is just a bit busted. So some key points, key highlights at least. I brought a land fort with the Thunderkin inside, and then the Thunderkin off the edge of the board down one of the turns, turn 2, I think, or it must have been turn 2. I stripped cover using the first 3 Thunderkin with the anti-monster vehicle guns. They stripped cover, and then everything else shot one of the big knights. So what are the big knights? One I think it was the Crusader. So managed to take that out in 1 go with the land fort and 9 Thunderkin basically. Had that go. Managed a nice little trick with Uthar. So Uthar's got an ability where he can change a hit, a wound, or a save roll into a 6 for 1 YP once per turn. And obviously he's got the free CP within 12 aura, so he got into a fight with a Lancer. I think Jay swept, so 3 damage each. Obviously Uthar's only got 5 wounds, so I think I failed. I must have failed at least 2 saves because I was dead. And then I spent his free CP to reroll and failed again. And then I spent his YP to turn it into a 6 and survived on 1 wound. Maybe he's got 4 wounds. How was I down to 1 wound? Something might have happened. Tank shock. I think I got tank shock. I can't remember. Anyway, Uthar managed to do that. And then obviously that forced Jay to fall back from Uthar because I'd fight first next and I could change a wound into a 6, and he's got devastating wounds, so I could potentially kill the Lancer with Uthar, and Jade have a 6-up feel no pain to make. So there's that. That's quite a nice interaction on my end. My Arcanist Evaluators didn't get to fire anything because Jay stuck an Armiger out turn 1 to onto one of the objectives. We were playing Hidden Supplies on UKTC Crucible of Battle. Turn 1, he stuck a Lancer out, not a Lancer, an Armiger out to cleanse an objective or secure one of the 2. I think it was for secure, and I thought, I'll kill this Armiger now, and I put out a land fort, 2 Arcanist Evaluators, a Sagittar, and my Capricus Carrier with the 5 Jaegirs inside to kill this Lancer, to kill this Armiger, and the land fort picked it up on its big gun. I think I did a devastating wound and then a failed save, and I think I managed 21 wounds on the big gun with the hecaton. So I put all that stuff out to pick up the armiger, and it did it with the land fort at the start. So then Jay picked off my Sagittar, and then I had nothing to put things in, so they just hid for a little bit, and then they scored me at secondaries at the end. I think they scored me area denial at the end, or recover. They scored me some sort of action at the end, so they did quite well there, but they didn't get a chance to shoot. So that's about it. Yeah. Like I said, I haven't got a TTS report to do, so this will only be a short, quick one. Had a good time. Uh, Jay didn't realise. I mean, I didn't realise either how good the Votann shooting could be, which is the same because I went to an RTT just recently and couldn't win a game. So I'll do a quick recap of that in another video shortly. But the shooting didn't go as well there. However, it was enough to pick up the night. So I was a bit concerned initially when I found out I was playing Jay, because I've got nothing that kills night. I thought I had nothing that kills nights anyway. Sustained and lethals on fours is quite nice, but then even the sustained are then wounded on fives, so it can be a bit hard. I thought it would be a bit hard to punch through AP2 damage 3, but luckily enough, we got enough through. I think the land fort spiked a few times. And then, yeah, he got his destriated bits, got through, got home. I cannot remember what I said last, so we'll just end with it was a good game. Had a good game, yeah. Shooting was fun until I went to the RTT, and now it's not so fun. But we'll persevere with the Votann. We've sprayed a few more of them up since this video, so we have started painting our defiler though, so we're not sure where we land yet on whether we're playing World Eaters or Votann, but we should be playing Stee again this week. I think he's going to be on his new Death Guard army, and then we're a coin toss whether we're playing Vessels of Wrath World Eaters, or we're playing again Brandfast Votann. We've just tweaked a few items in the list as our RTT experience has taught us a few things. So yeah. So again, apologies. There's no battle report. It's just going to be me talking. I'll put the pictures up in the background, and I'll put some stuff up. You'll have already seen it by now if you've got this far anyway. And thanks for coming. Look out for next week, or not even next week. Look out for the next video about my dreadful RTT experience. Cheers.